Pisces isn't avoiding reality because they're sensitive. They're avoiding it because building one requires showing up. And showing up means being accountable. And accountability means they can't blame the universe when things fall apart. I've spent 14 years watching Pisces drown in plain sight. Clients who can't hold a job because the energy was off. Partners who disappear for days because they needed to realign. Friends who ghost when you need them because they were going through something. And here's what nobody tells you. It's not sensitivity, it's strategy. This video breaks down the 3 psychological layers that turn "I'm just a dreamer" into "I refuse to participate in my own life." And if you're loving a Pisces who's always one crisis away from vanishing, you need to understand this. Because what looks like depth, it's avoidance with better marketing. Everyone sees the dreamer. The Pisces who talks about their novel they'll write someday, the business they'll start when the timing's right, the relationship they'll commit to once they've healed. They're always becoming, always evolving, always on the edge of something profound. And you believe them because they believe it too. In that moment, they'll describe their vision with so much detail you can see it, feel it. The passion is real. The conviction is real. They're not lying. They genuinely mean it when they say this time is different. But watch what happens when it's time to execute. When the vision requires showing up every day. When the dream demands discipline instead of inspiration. When someone says, "Okay, so what's the actual plan?" They dissolve, not dramatically, not with excuses. They just fade. "I don't know." The energy shifted. "I realized it wasn't aligned with my purpose. Something about it just didn't feel right." And you let it go. Because they made it sound spiritual. Like they're tuned into something you can't perceive. Like their inability to follow through is actually higher consciousness. It's not. It's fear wearing a costume. Because here's what Pisces learned early. Reality is harsh, unforgiving, full of expectations they're terrified they can't meet. But fantasy? Fantasy is safe, flexible, failure-proof. In fantasy, they're always enough, always talented, always on the verge of breakthrough. So they optimized themselves into permanent potential. The person who could do anything will do something someday when conditions are perfect, when they're healed enough, when the stars align and it works. People are drawn to their depth, their sensitivity, their dreams. Nobody notices that the dreams never materialize. Because Pisces tells the story so well, you forget to check if they're actually living it. But here's the thing. The brutal thing. They're not building toward anything. They're building away from everything. Every vision is a distraction. Every spiritual awakening is a detour. Every "I'm not ready yet" is a decision to never be ready. Because being ready means being visible. Being visible means being judged. Being judged means finding out they might actually be as ordinary as they fear. So they stay in the fantasy, where they're special, where they're deep, where they're always about to become something extraordinary. While their actual life, that stays on pause, indefinitely, and they call it sensitivity, protection, self-care. It's none of those things. It's cowardice with a meditation app. But here's the layer that breaks everything. The part Pisces will never admit. The reason they can't stop, even when the fantasy is suffocating them. They're not just avoiding reality. They're addicted to the person they are in the escape. Because in fantasy, they're the hero, the misunderstood genius, the wounded soul too pure for this harsh world. Every failure is proof the world isn't ready for them. Every disappointment is evidence they're too evolved for mundane success. It's the perfect narrative. Zero accountability, maximum sympathy, endless potential without the pressure of proof. In reality, they're just someone who can't finish things, can't commit, can't show up when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable or boring. But that version of them, that's unbearable, ordinary, disappointing. Everything they've spent years running from. So they don't run toward escape. They run toward the identity escape gives them, the tortured artist, the spiritual seeker, the person who's too deep, too sensitive, too complex for regular life. And here's what destroys everything. They know it's not real. Somewhere deep down, past all the spiritual bypassing and cosmic explanations, they know they're capable. They know they're avoiding. They know the universe isn't blocking them, they're blocking themselves. But admitting they've wasted years, hiding in fantasy because reality required effort, that would shatter the entire identity they've built. The story they've been telling themselves and everyone else. The reason they give for why their life looks like this. If they admit they're avoiding, they have to admit they chose this. All of it. The chaos. The instability. The perpetual almost. And they can't. Won't. Because then they'd have to change. Actually change. Not the performed transformation they post about. Not the spiritual awakening they talk about at parties. Real change. The kind that's boring and difficult and happens in silence over months. The kind that means showing up, being accountable, building something real instead of describing something beautiful. And that person, the one who shows up, Pisces, isn't sure that person is special enough to love. So they stay in the fantasy, where they're always special, always deep, always on the verge of something extraordinary, while life passes by, real, waiting, ignored. Marcus was 32 when his girlfriend asked him to move in, not casually. They'd been together 3 years. She loved him, wanted to build something real, found the perfect apartment. The bedroom's one could be his studio for the music he was always talking about making. "What do you think?" she asked, showing him photos. Marcus stared at the screen. Nicey place. Good light. Affordable. Everything he'd said he wanted. "I don't know," he said finally. I'm not sure I'm in the right headspace for that kind of commitment right now." Right headspace? "Marcus, we've been talking about this for months." I know. It's just I've been feeling like I need to do some inner work first. Like, really figure out who I am before I can show up fully for someone else." She looked at him. Really looked at him. "You've been doing inner work for 3 years. When does the outer work start?" He didn't have an answer. So he did what he always did. Made it about depth, about consciousness, about timing. "I just don't want to move forward from a place of fear, you know? I want to make sure it's aligned." She nodded slowly, then said something that made his stomach drop. "Marcus, do you realize you've had the same conversation about every job, every opportunity, every relationship milestone for the entire time I've known you? You're always almost ready, always one breakthrough away, always waiting for some cosmic green light that never comes. That's not fair, isn't it?" She wasn't angry. She was tired. "Your album, your business idea, moving in together, meeting my parents, every single thing that requires you to actually commit to reality. You've got a spiritual reason why not yet. I'm not avoiding, I'm being intentional." And then she laughed. "Not mean, just done. You're 32 years old, Marcus. You're not being intentional. You're being a coward. And you're so good at making it sound profound that even you believe it." He wanted to argue, defend himself, explain why she didn't understand. But the words wouldn't come. Because she was right. Angi knew it for years. He wasn't waiting for alignment. He was waiting for a guarantee. And life doesn't give those. 2 weeks later, he told her he needed space to work on himself. She didn't fight it. Just said, I hope someday you figure out that working on yourself is something you do while living your life, not instead of it. He's still working on himself, still waiting, still dreaming about the life he'll have once he's ready. She's engaged to someone else now, someone who showed up. Here's what nobody tells you about Pisces. Their escapism isn't about avoiding pain. It's about avoiding proof. Proof they're not as special as the fantasy promises. Proof their novel might be mediocre. Proof their business might fail. Proof they might commit to someone and still end up hurt. Proof that showing up doesn't guarantee transcendence. Sometimes it just means being regular. And Pisces would rather drown in potential than live in ordinary. The ruling planet is Neptune, illusion, fantasy, transcendence. And here's what that actually means. Pisces is wired to see beyond the material, to sense what could be, to feel the invisible, but they've weaponized that gift into paralysis. Instead of using vision to build, they use it to avoid building. Instead of channeling sensitivity into art, they use it as an excuse for why they can't function. Instead of transcending ego through action, they transcend responsibility through fantasy. And the water element, that's supposed to be about flow, emotion, depth. But water without container just evaporates, becomes vapor, disappears. That's Pisces, dissolving into their own dreams until there's nothing left to hold. And here's the sentence nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to. You're not too sensitive for reality. You're too scared to find out you're average at it, because that's the real fear. Not that they'll fail, that they'll succeed at something ordinary. Build something regular. Live a life that's good but not extraordinary. Be happy in a way that doesn't require cosmic intervention or spiritual awakening. Just normal, fulfilled, present. And they've spent so long being the deep one, the sensitive one, the one who operates on a different frequency. That normal feels like death. So they keep escaping, keep dreaming, keep describing the life they'll have instead of living the one they've got. And the tragedy, they're already capable, already enough, already equipped to build something real. But they'll never find out, because finding out requires showing up. And showing up means no more excuses. No more the timing isn't right. No more I'm still healing. No more hiding behind sensitivity and spirituality and all the beautiful words that mean I'm too afraid to try. They're just afraid. Ordinarily, humanly afraid. And instead of admitting it, instead of trying anyway, they've built an entire identity around why fear is actually wisdom. It's not. It's just fear, dressed up in crystals and astrology and talk about alignment. And it's killing every chance they have at an actual life. Their escapism isn't about you. It's about them being terrified of being seen as ordinary. When they disappear, when they can't commit, when they choose fantasy over showing up, it's not because they don't care. It's because caring requires being present. And presence requires accountability. And accountability means they can't blame Mercury retrograde when things don't work out. Tell them, I don't need you to be extraordinary. I need you to be here. Then give them a choice, not an ultimatum, a choice. Show up for this, consistently, imperfectly, or don't. But you can't keep one foot in fantasy and expect me to wait in reality. Some will choose you. Most won't. Not because they don't love you, but because the person they are in their dreams is easier to love than the person they'd have to become in real life. And that person requires courage they're not sure they have.